Punjabi Hari Madhava Punjabi Gopijana Balabha Girivara Radhi Gopijana Balabha Gopijana Balabha Girivara Radhi Girivara Radhi Jasodhanandana Brajachandranjana Jasodhanandana Brajachandranjana Jamunatira Vanachadi Jamunatira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Gopi Jana Balabha Girivara Radhi Girivara Radhi Gopi Jana Balabha Girivara Radhi Gopi Jana Balabha Girivara Radhi Jasodhanandana Brajachandranjana Jasodhanandana Brajachandranjana Dana Brajachandranjana Jamunatira Vanachadi Jamunatira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Punjabi Hari Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajagacharya Astatara Satasi Srimad His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Gaura Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're going to spend our morning hearing from Array of Vishnu, the final chapter called The Final Days. In October, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to Jagannath Puri. And there he exhibited his pastime of illness for some time at Chatak Parvat in Jagannath Puri, which is considered to be non-different than Giri Govardhan, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur observed Madhvacharya's appearance day celebration and chanted verses specific for such occasions from the writings of Sri Rupa and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's writings. He also held a similar festival for his spiritual master Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. While he was passing his days in Puri, he was often heard to utter phrases from the verses of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. The first is a refrain from the Govardhan Astaka, prayers by Rupa Goswami. Prayasame Tvam Kuru Govardhana Purnam. Oh, Govardhan, please fulfill my desire. That's the refrain. Because I just been immersed in those prayers, he finally reveals what his desire is in the last. His desire is to get the same mercy that Govardhan gave to others, and that is love for Radharani. That's his anchoring, his desire. Oh, this then comes Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Nijani Karanavasam Dehi Govardhana Tvam. O Govardhan, please give me a dwelling place on the banks of the pond nearby you. Bhaktisiddhanta also said pointedly, you all take to sincere Hari Bhajan. There are not many more days. Unquote, like he had a premonition. He gave lectures in Puri for about a month and a half. And then on December 6th, he left for Puri. He left Puri for Calcutta. At the Puri station, he was paid respects by many distinguished persons, especially due to their appreciation of his monumental activities of preaching Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message in India as well as abroad. Along the route, there was a stop in Cuttack, where he was met by Professor Sanyal and other followers, and in Calcutta many devotees greeted him at Howrah station and brought him to the Gaudiya Math at Bagh Bazar. There he gave a lecture which lasted over an hour, and he covered many profound topics. He spoke of the importance of good association, the mystery of Lord Chaitanya's madness and separation in Puri during the last days at Gambhira, in the association of Srup Damodar and Srila Ramananda Roy. He spoke of the Guru's vision of seeing his Guru everywhere. Quote, it is my Gurudev who graciously is present in all these different forms. If he is not graciously present in all these different forms, then what would preserve me? Those whom my Gurudev has made his own are my saviors. The order of the Gurus, who have in their nature the protecting power of the divinity, are always present in different forms and figures to bestow their mercy on me. All of them are specific manifestations of Sri Guru, who confers spiritual knowledge. The transcendental reflections, which are also of the nature of supporters, are the worship of the divinity, which appear in the different planes of cognitive existences, are my Gurudev in his different forms. He who is constantly showing us how to serve Godhead throughout life is no other than our Sri Gurudev. Sri Gurudev is present in every object as the supporting principle. He is graciously present in every object. Then he quotes Bhagavatam from the Gopi Gita section. O Chura, O Priyala, O Panasa, Asana, and Kovidara, O Jambu, Arka, Bilva, Bakula, and Amra, O Kadamba and Nipa, and all you other plants and trees living by the banks of the Jamuna, who have dedicated your very existence to the welfare of others, we gopis have lost our minds. So please tell us, where has Krishna gone? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also discussed the danger of discussing other topics after having admitted the topics of the Supreme Lord as superior, thereby indicating that other topics in connection with the Lord are inferior. Quote. He quoted the line from Raghunath Das Goswami's Manashiksha, Sada Dambham Hitva, always give up pride. He discussed the necessity of being careful about offenses to Vaishnavas, especially in connection to the Brahmanda Brahmite verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, particularly describing the dangerous creepers of adoration, profit, and distinction. He quoted from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati from the Dainya or humility section, which begins, Amara Jivana Sada Pape Rata Nakilo Punyara Lesha. I am an impious sinner, and I have caused others great anxiety and trouble. Unquote. In which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur feels himself to be grossly sinful, materialistic person. The translation, which perfectly describes the life of an envious materialist, serves to instruct us what qualities must be overcome in our endeavor for self-realization, and which a self-realized person in his humility feels that he still possesses. And there's a list of bad qualities. I am an impious sinner and have caused others great anxiety and trouble too. I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts for my own enjoyment, devoid of all compassion, concerned only with my own selfish interest. I am remorseful, seeing others happy. I am a perpetual liar, and the misery of others is a source of great pleasure for me. 3. The material desires in my heart are unlimited. I am wrathful, devoted to false pride and arrogance, intoxicated by vanity and bewildered by worldly affairs. Envy and egotism are the ornament I wear. There's 6. That was 3. Here's 4. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds, yet I'm very active and enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. I am thus destroyed by my own greed, and am always lustful. 5. A vile, wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender. I am such a person, devoid of all good works, forever inclined toward evil, worn out and wasted by various miseries. Now, in my old age, deprived of all means of success, humbled and poor, Bhaktivinoda submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord. Pretty heavy, huh? It is clear from these themes that aside from personally feeling a state of profound humility, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was discussing the giving up of pride, the weeds that choke the creeper of devotion. And the above verses were a profound instruction and warning to his disciples about how to cultivate bhakti with great humility themselves. He was aware of the fire of ordeal that was to come for them collectively and individually. Therefore, he identified the anarthas and explained how to remove them without falling prey to arrogance or envy of others. The great Acharya, who is now soon to depart, was giving essential instructions about the pitfalls that would ensnare many of his disciples. In the same manner, this is Prabhupada gave some warnings. Rupa Vilas commenting. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur elaborated on these themes in Dhaka in 1935, that's previously. Quote, "Look within. Amend yourself rather than pry into the frailties of others." Next, in this world of Maya, averse to the Lord, full of trials and tribulations, only patience, humility, and respect for others are our friends for Hari Bhajan. Next, the Lord Gaurasundara put his devotees in various difficulties and associations to test their patience and strength of mind. Success depends on their good fortune. Next, when faults in others misguide and delude you, have patience, introspect, and find faults in yourself, knowing that others cannot harm you unless you harm yourself. Next, I wish that every selfless, tender-hearted person of Gaudiya Math will be prepared to shed 200 gallons of blood for the nourishment of the spiritual corpus of every individual of this world. That evening, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave another long lecture, which centered on the theme of how to deal with an unwieldy mind. He again referred to the first verse of Manashiksha by Raghunath Das Goswami. "O mind, my brother, I fall down at your feet and beg you to relish the unprecedented and excessive rati or bhav in the constant remembrance of the spiritual master, the cows, the cowherd men, and the milkmaids of Vraja, the loving devotees of Lord Krishna, the pure brahmanas, the living mantra heard from the divine master, which releases the mind from Maya's bondage, the holy names of Krishna, and the divine youthful couple of Vraja, casting aside all thoughts of pride and egoism of the mundane plane at all times and under all circumstances," unquote. That's a nice verse, huh? Wow. He also referred to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song from the Gitavali under the topic of Shreyo Nirnaya, or spiritual welfare, which begins, "Bhajare Bhajare Amara Mana Ati Manda." Worship, worship, extremely wicked mind. He explained the song in some detail, especially the first verse. Quote, "Oh, my mind, how wicked and foolish you are. Just worship the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna in the forest of Braja. Without such worship, there is no means of spiritual advancement. Give up all speculative knowledge and materialistic activities, and just worship Radha Krishna in the forest of Braja." On the 13th day of December 1936, at the Gaudiya Math's Auditory Hall, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave a very long lecture in which he covered a wide range of topics touching again and again on the theme of the danger of worldliness encroaching on one's spiritual endeavors. He quoted a song he had written called Nirjana Anartha. Quote, "Your gold is the progenitor of enjoyment. Serve Madhava with gold. The desire in your heart for beautiful women is not for you, their only proprietor is Yadava. The tree of desire for fame is the desert of the illusory energy. Ravana did not get it by struggling against Raghava. Be dedicated to the fame of a Vaishnava. If you do not worship that, you will go to hell." And a person who accepts this body as his self works very hard, day and night, for money to maintain his own body and the bodies of his wife and children. While working to maintain himself and his family, he may commit violence against other living entities. Such a person is forced to give up his body and his family at the time of death. He suffers reaction for his envy of other creatures by being thrown into the hell called Raurava. Again, the theme of ridding oneself of anarthas was strongly being preached by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Compassionately, he was urging everyone to give up pride and envy and simply immerse themselves in spreading the glories of the Lord. His mission had become an immense vehicle for this. He didn't want it to fail. He quoted multiple sources to establish the point of single-minded devotion to Krishna. Finally, he concluded, quote, "We are all sojourners on the path of death. Everyone has to die, therefore, in this state of life, whether one is male or female, high or low, king or subject, rich or poor, learned or foolish, everyone can make this very rare human form of life successful by becoming a servant of the eternally pure, complete, blissful Sri Hari. Even in this conditioned life, one can become liberated. Therefore, it is overwhelmingly necessary to try." On December 23rd, 8 days before entering the eternal pastimes of the Lord, he made the following remarks, quote, "I have given anxiety to many people, and I have been compelled to speak genuinely truthful words. And as I have told people, to worship Hari without any hypocrisy. There are possibly many people who even consider me to be an enemy, so that they may become eager to perform the sincere service of Sri Krishna, freed from other desires and deceitfulness. I have given various types of anxieties to numerous people. One day or another, they will certainly be able to understand this." Paragraph. "With great enthusiasm, preach the words of Sri Rupa Raghunath to everyone. Our ultimately desirable object is to become the dust of lotus feet of the followers of Sri Rupa. Entity, all of you remain united in allegiance to the Ashraya Vigraha, or spiritual master, in order to satisfy the senses of the transcendental entity of non-dual knowledge. Everyone with the sole view of worshiping Hari will carry on life in this temporary, 2-day material existence in any possible way. Do not give up the worship of Hari, even amidst hundreds of dangers, hundreds of insults, or hundreds of persecutions. Do not become enthusiastic upon seeing that the majority of the people of the world are not accepting the message of Krishna's sincere worship. Never give up the audition and glorification of the topics of Krishna. They are your own personal worship and your very all and all. Being humble like a blade of grass and patient like a tree, constantly glorified Hari. Paragraph. Quote, we are nurturing a desire to dedicate this good-for-nothing body in the Sankirtan sacrifice of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and his associates. We are not at all desirous of any heroism in fruitive activities or religion, but our real condition is to be the dust at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Prabhu, birth after birth. This is our all in all. The line of Bhakti Vinod will never be closed. With even more enthusiasm, you should become engaged in preaching the desire of Bhakti Vinod's heart. Amongst you, there are many capable and accomplished men. We have no other desire at all. These are our only words. Quote, taking a blade of grass between my teeth. Oh, this is Raghunath Das Goswami's verse. Adantastha adadanas trinam dantair idam yache punak punak. Doesn't break the words up. Srimad Rupa Padambo Jo Duli Syam Janma Janmani. Those who have heard Dinabandhu speak, he speaks this regularly, and it's written in Sanskrit in above the place where Rupa Goswami wrote Nectar of Devotion or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Tir Kadamba, thank you. There's Krishna Balaram deities there. It's really nice. It doesn't break it up, so it's hard to recite it, but I'll do it again. Adadanas chanam dantire, idam yache punak punak, Srimad Rupa Padambo Jao, Padambo Ja, Duli Syam Janma Janmani. Taking a blade of grass between my teeth, I fall down again and again and pray that I may become the dust at the feet of Sri Rupa, birth after birth. That's Raghunath Das, glorifying Rupa. Again, quote, there are various types of inconveniences while staying in this world, but there is no need for us to become extremely afflicted by those inconveniences or try to dispel these inconveniences. While staying here, it is necessary for us to gain an introduction to what our eternal life will be and to what entity we will attain after these inconveniences have been removed. Here, it is compulsory to make decisions about all those objects which attract and repel us in various ways, both that which I want and do not want. We will be drawn by the attractions and repulsions of this place to the same degree as the amount of intervening distance there is between us and the lotus feet of Krishna. When we go beyond the attractions and repulsions of the world and are attracted by the transcendental name, then the topics about the mellow of the service of Krishna can be understood. At the present time, the topics about Krishna are generally startling and perplexing. Adventitious occurrences are obstructing our eternally needed realization. To eliminate these, everyone who holds the name of a human being is more or less consciously or unconsciously engaged in a struggle to enter into that eternally needed kingdom beyond all duality is our only necessity. And then the final, before the last section, quote, "In this world, we do not have any attachment or aversion toward anybody. All the arrangements of this world are momentary. That supreme desideratum, is indispensably necessary for every single person. May all of you, with one aim and with a single voice, attain the right of serving the original Ashraya Vigraha. May the flow of thought of Sri Rupa's followers stream over the world. May we never, in any condition whatsoever, show aversion to the sacrifice of chanting the seven-tongued Sankirtan of Sri Krishna. If there is ever increasing attachment for this, perfection on all sides will be achieved. May all of you, by the earnest pursuance of Sri Rupa's followers, preach the words of Sri Rupa Raghunath in a fearless voice with supreme enthusiasm." Imagine hearing those words from his mouth. The audience was probably floating. Disappearance, Nitya Leela. On the morning of December 31st, 1936, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur requested Sripad B.R. Sridhar Maharaj to sing Sri Rupa Manjari by Srila Narottam Das Thakur and Sripad Naveen Krishna Vidyalankar to sing the Shikshastaka. That was the morning. In the forenoon, he requested the editor of the Gaudiya magazine to see to it that the Vaishnava Manjusha, or Casket of Vaishnava Vocabulary, would be compiled and published. In his last days, he had specifically requested that his disciples form a governing body commission of 10 or 12 devotees to manage the society's affairs. Two of his last statements were, quote, "Love and rupture both should have the same end in view." Thakur Narottam lived on the principles of Rupa Raghunath. He is good to follow. It is good to follow that path, unquote. To all he announced, "Please accept my blessings to you all, present and absent. Please bear in mind our sole duty and religion is to spread and propagate service to the Lord and his devotees." Paragraph. Thus the great Acharya, the Simha Guru, the uncompromising sadhu, the Vaikuntha man, as Srila Prabhupada once described him, the tireless preacher of the pure teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, left this material world uttering the name of Krishna at about 5:30 a.m. on Thursday, January 1st, 1937, and entered the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, having firmly established the foundation of a spiritual movement which would be carried around the world by his pure servant, Srila Prabhupada. Then it describes, the arrangements for samadhi. It seems very clear that Srila Prabhupada imbibed the same unbridled enthusiasm and faith and dedication to what Bhaktisiddhanta was calling for, or what he himself did and was calling upon others to do. The power, the intensity, and focus on compassion, flooding the world with the message of Rupa Raghunatha using Bhaktisiddhanta's language, or the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's our founder Acharya, and he imbibed it from his spiritual master. And that's we've inherited that mission. Just like the sons and daughters inherit the mission of the father. The faithful dependents carry forward the mission and message of the previous Acharya. I circulated there's like a 4-minute, you have a copy. Can you send it to the others? A little, it's an audio clip, 4 minutes. Prabhupada is speaking on the disappearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta. And if I'm not mistaken, it was in Seattle. It may have been in other places as well. But he is speaking of the magnitude of the challenge that he felt in carrying forward Bhaktisiddhanta's mission. In this little short clip, he speaks of Bhaktisiddhanta appeared to him several times, apparently in dreams, requesting Prabhupada to assist him. So you don't have to have Bhaktisiddhanta appear in your dreams or Prabhupada appear in your dreams. It's that's nice, but the force of the message is here to carry forward this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please assist me. And then Prabhupada describes, I was horrified. How is this possible? Apparently, while he's still a householder, give up family life? Horrible. Who can say if he was just sharing with us those were his feelings, or he was sharing what our feelings would be with such an idea, whatever. You can't maintain, you can certainly maintain household life, but you can't maintain attachments to household life. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur maintained household life. He didn't leave household life. And while he was doing his mission of propagating the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. In any case, dedication to the teachings. And then Prabhupada spoke that my spiritual master sent all of you to. He had said it on other occasions in this particular recording. He sent you. There was the kindness of my spiritual master. And then he just emotionally broke up and ended the class. Thank you very much. So I don't know if we can think of ourselves as sent by somebody, sent by Prabhupada to assist him in his mission or something. The appeal is nonetheless very clear. I mean, it is remarkable, those of you that are familiar with the early days of the Hare Krishna movement, how quickly people became devotees. Some a little slower, but some very quickly, many very quickly, like just let go of everything and gave everything. And are continued for years and years and years, and many are still continuing, just poof. Many, many, many very capable people, just inspired by being at lotus feet of Prabhupada and assisting him. So time has separated, but the opportunity hasn't changed. The Shakti hasn't gone away. So I really like this little chapter. There's obstacles, and one of the obstacles is selfishness and pride and all these other things, that the absence of humility. But so it's letting go of the contaminations and taking shelter of the mission of just glorifying the personality of Godhead. There's tribulations. Welcome to the material world. There's tribulations. And going forward, the mission is their saving grace, the purifying us and carrying us forward. So that's Bhaktisiddhanta and his departure, passing that on. So we're honoring him on the occasion of his departure. Let's see if there's some discussion.
Hare Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, I consider this incident as a pastime. He tried to form a GBC during his time, and Prabhupada implemented the same parampara. But in his pastime, GBC didn't work. And in Prabhupada's pastime, somehow it's working. How can we understand this thing? And he was Guru of Prabhupada, much, much more empowered than Prabhupada. Sorry.
Well, I don't know about the last statement. More empowered? Huh? Okay, so behind everything involving a great personality, there's Krishna's hand. And, it's not written in this section, but Prabhupada, anyway, we come to know that Bhaktisiddhanta was disgusted. He attracted highly qualified people, and those highly qualified people were proud of their qualification, and their hearts were not sufficiently pure. So, there's no need to speculate. Krishna was engaging Bhaktisiddhanta the way Krishna was engaging Bhaktisiddhanta. And Krishna engaged, or Lord Chaitanya engaged Prabhupada the way he engaged Prabhupada. There was a principle that didn't, his as qualified as they were personalities, didn't take up. And Prabhupada saw what Bhaktisiddhanta wanted, and he put it in place, for a decade. So Prabhupada did what Prabhupada did, and Bhaktisiddhanta did what Bhaktisiddhanta did by the inspiration and arrangements, transcendental arrangements of the personality of Godhead.
That Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj was stressing more on being patient and carry on with the devotion, not finding the faults of other. But if there is a situation where we can see that somebody is praying a heavy politics, a very, very heavy politics, and everybody is covering his eyes and ears because they don't want to get involved in politics. It's between him and Krishna. And sometimes it is unbearable to handle the situation that nobody is speaking up, nobody is bringing out the point. How can we continue understanding Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's words, being patient and sincere in our devotion?
Well, each of us have a nature, and each of us, according to our nature, we have some service. So particularly for those that are in the senior position, they should speak up. And those that are in the junior position, they should speak to those that are in the senior position to speak up. And those that are in the senior position, specifically in an administrative position, and don't speak up, then they become implicated. That's something that Ramachandra spoke to Bali. If I didn't slay you, if the king, the administrator, head, does not take action when someone has violated fundamental principles, then they become implicated in that wrong. So there's difference of position. Administrators, to take the administration position is to provide protection, and it's a must. No, the protection and the clarity about what is the wrong and what is the extent of the wrong and what's appropriate for the wrong, and so forth. That's another consideration. But those who are in the administrator position have that duty. Here's an example. I'm going to take the microphone away from you, if you don't mind. During Srila Prabhupada's time, I personally experienced one of those. It was the Bali Mardan situation in New York. And after it was disclosed to Prabhupada what happened, he wrote a letter, and the letter was put right on the door just outside of the temple room entrance, which everyone had to pass by. It was up for a month, the letter with Prabhupada's signature, saying, you have no responsibility in the wrongs that have happened. I've taught you to follow your authority, and you followed your authority. You did the right thing. Don't blame yourselves. You're not culpable. I mean, I don't know what the exact language, but that was the message. And then privately, separately, those that were in the senior position that said nothing, did nothing, he chastised them severely. You knew and you did nothing. So different positions for different, according to your psychophysical nature and the authority that's invested in you, and the instructions of the spirit, the founder charya, how to conduct yourself. Those are to be followed. I'm going to see if there's somebody else that wants to speak something. If not, we'll go online. Online? Anything? Steer, I have something for you later. Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
This is Sneha Vali. Thank you for reading the question. We read that the disciples of my spiritual master are my saviors. My question is, how should a fellow disciple behave if they do not see the most faithful of the spiritual masters as their saviors?
How the spiritual master sees and how the disciple sees is appropriate for their particular position. But you've understood correctly how a disciple should see. So they're not in conflict. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanandi.